There's this silly claim going around the internet that a man thinks about the Roman Empire every day. Well, the real thing that I think about every day is if you could only have one cartridge, what would it be? So, in today's video, we're going to answer that question, and I'm going to give you three options really for people that want less recoil on here, the people that want medium type recoil, and for those that don't care about recoil and just want a good sized Magnum. So let's talk about one cartridge that you could use for everything. Let's start with if you could only have one cartridge for those that are wussies that can't handle recoil. Sorry, I'm kidding. For those that are recoil sensitive or just don't want to deal with it, here are my choices. All of these cartridges here are pretty popular. They have plenty of ammo and rifles to choose from. So starting from my left, we have the most popular cartridge, the 6.5 Creedmoor. Then we have the 6.5 PRC. Then we have the 270 Winchester, the 7mm 08 Remington, and lastly, the 308 Winchester. Let's talk criteria. What exactly is this one cartridge going to be used for? Well, I'm in North America, so we're just going to talk about all of North American game. So, it's time to start eliminating cartridges. First one on the chopping block, you guys are not going to be surprised by this. Goodbye, 6.5 Creedmoor. Sorry guys, it's just not ideal. You're not able to shoot anything, basically anything over 150 grain bullet, and it's going extremely slow. It's not a good choice, I would think, for elk size game and bigger. And I definitely would not want one if I had to fight off a Kodiak bear. Next on the chopping block, yeah, I'm going to take away the 6.5 PRC. So why am I getting rid of the 6.5s? Well, I think there's just better. There's bigger bullets, wider diameter. I just want something with a little more punch. That brings me to three left. The 270 Winchester, 7mm 08 Remington, and the 308 Winchester. As much as I love this cartridge and I think it is extremely underrated, well, when you have the 308, I just don't see the need for the 7mm 08. On top of that, there's not as much bullet selection and as many rifles to choose in the 7mm 08, but it's a darn good one. Okay, now we have it down between a 270 Winchester and a 308 Winchester. It's going to be a tough one, but because this is meant for all game, I'm going to have to chop off the 270 Winchester. That leads us to the winner. The winner of the one cartridge, if you could only have one cartridge in light recoil, it has to be the 308 Winchester. It's shooting a wide variety of bullets. You can get them in just about any rifle you want, including an AR-10, which if I was in brown bear country and I only had a 308, that's what I'd want it in. Put as many bullets into a bear with a 308. But it beats out the 270 because you can shoot 200 grain plus bullets in a 308. You can't in a 270 Winchester. Let's talk medium recoiling cartridges. So these are the people that don't want a heavy hitting Magnum, but also want a little more than a 308 or a 270 can provide you. It's really down to two cartridges for me. I mean, we could put more on the list, but these have the most ammo available and the best rifle selection. It comes down to 30-06 versus 7mm Remington Magnum. Now, the 7 mag is a Magnum, but I've always called it the beginner's Magnum or a baby Magnum. Because what's really cool about the 7 mag is that it basically gives you the same recoil as a 30-06 Springfield. And obviously what's great about the 30-06 is the versatility. That's what it's always known for. It's the jack of all trades. And the 7 Rem Mag is extremely similar, just shooting flatter. The big upside for the 30-06 is you can shoot 200, 220 grain bullets. You can't do that in a 7mm Remington Magnum. So for me, when it comes to having to pick a medium recoiling cartridge that can take everything, I'm going to have to pick the granddaddy of them all, the 30-06 Springfield. Just because if I had to take a bear, I'd probably put a 200 or a 220 grain bullet in a 30-06. Let's talk about the grown-up cartridges. These are the Magnums. The Magnums are for people that, well, don't care about recoil, don't care about efficiency. They just want the job done, and they want it done quickly. But these are the ones that I would recommend for anyone. Let's start with the new guy. On the left, the 7mm PRC. Now, to be honest, this is just barely a little bit more powerful than a 7mm Rem Mag, so really it could be called a baby Magnum, but yeah, we put it up here with the big boys. Next to it is the 28 Nosler, and then the 300 Winchester Magnum, and the up-and-coming 300 PRC, and lastly, the old one. You know, I can't do a video without a Weatherby. We got the 300 Weatherby Magnum. So which ones are on the chopping block first? Well, it's going to have to be the PRCs. When you only have 2 hunting bullet options, now in the coming years I fully expect the 7 PRC and the 300 PRC to have a lot more hunting bullet options. But for now, I'm going to have to get rid of them just because, well, you can only shoot an ELDX or a CX bullet. We're down to 3 for the Magnums. We have the 28 Nosler, 300 Winchester Magnum, 300 Weatherby Magnum. Next one on the chopping block, we have the 28 Nosler. Now, you can make a very good argument that the 28 Nosler should be the number 1 choice. All of these are good choices, by the way. Problem with the 28 Nosler is that you have really expensive ammo. Surprisingly more expensive ammo than the 300 Weatherby Magnum. You also have the least amount of ammo choices between these 3. Well, 30 caliber is a little bit more versatile. Now, I know what you're going to say. The 28 Nosler smokes both of these in long range shooting, and it definitely has that potential. But I would feel more comfortable taking a Kodiak Brown Bear with a 300 Weatherby than a 28 Nosler. It comes down to this: 300 Win Mag versus 300 Weatherby Magnum. So which one should you get for if you can only have 1 cartridge? Well, I think it really comes down to price. The winner, of course, is the 300 Winchester Magnum on ammo price. I think the 300 Weatherby offers some really great performance. It's just a little too expensive. So here we are. We have the 3 winners of if you could only pick 1 cartridge to do everything in North America. What would I pick between these 3? Well, I think the 308 is the biggest loser out of these 3. Yes, it has the cheapest ammo, and you can get it in just about every single gun, but I do think it's a way too light for dangerous game in North America. This one's tough. 30-06 and the 300 Win Mag. 30-06 is cheaper. It's gonna have less recoil. Guys, I reload Magnums on my channel. I'm gonna have to say the overall winner is the 300 Winchester Magnum. That's the one I would recommend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. One last thing, I want to talk about 2 goals I have for 2024 with YouTube and a little bit of me personal goals. I want to lose some weight. And, well, I want to get rid of this, get rid of some belly fat, and I want to be in better shape. If you saw my elk hunting video, you knew how much I was sucking wind. I remember my daughter basically pushing me on and telling me, come on, Dad, we got to go quicker. We got to go find those elk, which we did eventually. But yeah, I want to be able to hike and go farther when I go elk hunting and not have to take so many breaks while climbing a mountain. Now, to accomplish this, I needed the right motivation. And so I talked with my wife. If I can get down to the weight I was at when I got married, she's gonna let me get my dream rifle in my dream cartridge. And here's my dream rifle. This is a Weatherby Mark V Deluxe. This has always been my dream gun. I think it's one of the prettiest guns ever made in a bolt-action rifle. But what is my dream cartridge? My dream caliber? Well, it's right there. 340 Weatherby Magnum. So why the 340 Weatherby? Well, I think it really has to go back to my dad. I remember as a kid, him always saying just how awesome and powerful his 340 Weatherby, which he had a deluxe, by the way. And it's just always been that gun that I've always wanted. So what's the time frame for this? For me to finally get my dream rifle and my dream cartridge? Well, the goal is May 4th. This spring, hopefully I'll be showing off my Mark V Deluxe and 340 Weatherby Magnum.